Again, the same word, Qala hadha rahmatun min Rabbi.
Yeah.
Same word as Sulaiman is used, as Khidr is used.
Yeah. And Zulqarnain also uses the same word.
Yeah. So let's just go into this, so that we can talk about the Dajjal more, about what was going on in the verse, until when it reached a pass. Now the word pass does not occur in this ayah.
Yeah.
Okay. So hatta idha balagha bayna saddain, he comes right in the middle, or it's passing through the middle of these two barriers, these two portals, these two doors of two different portals opening up, or maybe two portals traveling parallel, and he's coming right in the middle. Could be anything, because he doesn't really specify the structure here. Wajada min dunihima qawma means the people who are found by Dhul-Qarnayn, and then the next ayah they say Qalu ya Dhul-Qarnayn inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj.
Just a reminder for the viewers that this nation, we can't restrict it for this earth. It could be anywhere.
Well, the case that we're presenting in this video series is the fact that this is not the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because even if it is planet Earth, which I doubt, through my perspective, it is in a totally different dimension.
Yeah.
Even if it is planet Earth, it is not in this dimension. So they could hardly understand his speech. La yakaduna yafqahuna qawla means they couldn't really get most of whatever he was saying. And then they say, Qalu ya Dhul-Qarnayn inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj mufsiduna fil ard. I think we should go to the translation, because
so they pleaded, O Dhul-Qarnayn, surely Gog and Magog are spreading corruption throughout the land. Should we pay you tribute, provided that you build a wall between us and them? Wall here is وَبَيْنَهُمْ سَدَّةً.
Yeah, that's the same word that actually ends up بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَهُمْ سَدَّةً.
Yeah.
So أَنْتَجَلَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَهُمْ سَدَّةً means so that you can build one. So it's not.
So if we translate here Sadda as mountains, as in the previous ayah, it will be build a mountain for us between us and them.
So we'll have to stick to one meaning here.
Yeah.
We can't just try and pick and choose it. They're the same word, and it's not like far away. It's like before this word in the the last ayah. Hatta iza balagha bayna saddain, and then antajala baynana wa baynahum sadda means it has to be carried forth. The same psychology has to be carried forth.
Yeah.
And he did build up a wall. He did build up barrier. So he did close those barriers.
Yeah.
He came right in the middle of these two doorways, and he shut down one of those doors.
Yeah.
Or maybe he put a singular wall between these two doors. This could also be the case, because it doesn't really specify the whole architecture of things. So we can take all of these meanings.
Yeah.
But we cannot take the meaning of the word mountain here, because he didn't build a mountain. He actually asked for the metals coming up right.
Yeah. In the next time.
So we don't build metals and copper and iron and still
and build a mountain.
Yeah, build a mountain, or call it a mountain later on.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, but the one thing that we always miss out here somehow is that they wanted to pay him. It's not something which is customary for anyone to pay the king.
No, I think all the nations used to pay tribute to the kings.
Yeah, not that the fact to build walls. They're actually talking about a salary here. Kharaja. That means kharjan. That
kharaja.
Kharjan means
kharaj in Urdu.
Yeah, that means if you do this, we're willing to compensate you for it. I don't know. I just my head always gets stuck at the fact that why was this mentioned here, because it was not. He didn't even take the money. So the fact that he said specifically a very clear reply that whatever I have is way better than what you can possibly offer. So I don't need anything from you guys, but what I do need from you is manpower and whatever the things you're going to ask for right now. So the fact that the same word comes into play when Sulaiman's says when he saw the thing happening of the throne of Sabah, he said, this is from Allah's rahmah only. Al-Khizr said the same thing, and here Zulkarnain is saying the same thing.
In the next ayah.
In the next ayah,
number 95, he responded, what my Lord has provided for me is far better, but assist me with resources and I will build a barrier between you and them.
Now here we go. Now that's the point I'm going to try and make. In the ayat 83 or 84, when we are saying bikulli shayin sababa, that does not mean he has power of everything. Otherwise, he would have been like this, and every iron and copper would have just, merged up together, and he would have made a wall.
He would be asking them for resources.
Yeah, and even if he were asking for resources, he wouldn't have asked for whatever they were going to do with the resources as well. So he does not have that kind of power, which we actually start to assume. He's literally doing it under a regular, settings of how people come about and do their labor, and your regular social and physics is laws of physics are applied here.
Yeah,
go on.
Okay. Ayah number 96.
Before we go to 96, now this word sadda is now radma here. The word sadda was something that they wanted to. They were saying, and here, Zulkarnain is actually replacing the word sadda with radma.
Yeah,
and they wanted to build a sadda.
Yeah.
For him to build a sadda, and he said, I'm going to build a radma.
Yeah.
Now that's a totally different. See, this is what Zulkarnain is saying.
Yeah.
And he does build a radma.
Yeah.
So he doesn't build a sadda.
Yeah.
So let's just go back. Taj'ala baynana wa baynahum sadda. So you can bring about. Ja'ala is a totally different word here. Okay, and he said, well, I am not going to do that. I am going to build you a dam, which is going to stop this, rather than the kind of technology. Well, I'm giving you perspective here. Whatever you're seeing right now as the doorway opening up, you see all of that thing, which could be anything. Could be just mist, or could be just thin air. Could be anything. Instead of me using that technology, I'm going to use something else. And so bring me iron and copper. I'm going to build a totally different technology. I'm going to use a totally different technology here.
Yeah.
Whatever you're used to is not something I'm going to do. I'm going to do something which I'm used to. So this is how we close this door. Or maybe he's a superior power. He uses a totally different technology. So he actually asked for iron and copper.
By the way, you use the word dam. That's the translation by Sahih International. But all the others, Dr. Ghali, Mustafa Khattab, Abdul Halim, they have used it as a fortification or a barrier or a wall.
Yeah, well, the dam is a wall. So a dam itself is a wall. So it's not much of a contradiction here. Even though barrier is way more suiting to the, because it's not an actual...
because we do get an idea of the dam, So
you're right. That would just spin people off from whatever was going on actually.
So ayah number 96. Bring me blocks of iron. Then when he had filled up the gap, the gap between the two mountains, he ordered blow. When the iron became red hot, he said, bring me molten copper and pour over it. I guess this is a very interesting.
Yeah, there's so much in this. I don't know where to begin. First and foremost, iron, copper. We know what.
Just give me a second.
Sure.
I want to read the Arabic of this so that you can stress on each word. Then, in ayah number 96, it says, "Atuni zubar al-hadid hatta idha sa'wa bayna as-sadafayni qala anfukhu hatta idha ja'alahu naran qala atuni ufrigh alayhi qitra." Okay, so we have Zubar al-Hadid,
Sadafain, Sawa. Sawa is the keyword here.
And Bain as-Sadafain, Bain also.
Yeah, well, Sawa is the gap, so Sawa Bain as-Sadafain. And then we have Kitran. So, now let's just read another English translation.
Okay. Abdul Halim says, bring me lumps of iron. And then when he had filled the gap between the two mountain sides, he said, work your bellows. And then when he had made it glow like fire, he said, bring me molten metal to pour over it.
One more. This is so important. We really need to.
Okay, Dr. Ghali says, bring me ingots of iron. Until when he had leveled up between the two cliffs, he said, blow. Until when he made it a fire, he said, bring me, that I may pour out molten brass on it.
Okay. So let's just see. Iron. That means, well, I'm not going to push a perspective of being close to the star because stars actually produce iron.
Yeah.
So let's just say even if they weren't planets, they still would have iron.
But these guys had plenty of iron.
Oh yeah, so much. Plus they had the technology of actually at that time they could bellow, all of that melting of iron as well. So it's definitely after the Stone Age and Bronze Age. The Stone Age.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Iron Age here. Yeah. So we're talking about Zulkarnain actually filling up a gap. Sawa baina sadafain. Now this word, if we go, let's just go back to ayah number 93. So the question is, I'm going at ayah 93 again. Hatta iza balagha baina saddain. Okay. Now he has traveled across the saddain now. That's when he is he's found the people. Dunihima. Okay. And then beyond those pathways, or what they're saying is mountains, he's going to try and build up a radma. Okay. And now he's asked them to bring iron, and he's going to fill up a gap between the two mountains. Okay. Now let's just, because I know it's the case is that they're not mountains, so what are they? And what does iron got to do with this? Let's just say that they are portals. Does a portal just get shut down by an iron wall? Well, could be, but most probably not.
Yeah.
You know? So what was going on there? And how can we actually, if there is a portal, why can't you just go through the iron wall? Because the portal can actually open anywhere, right?
Yeah.
If Saleh's camel can come out from a stone, then Yajuj Majuj could just come out from this iron wall.
Yeah.
So the wall wouldn't really open up, because we're talking about a portal here. When a portal opens, it opens in air or in the ground, doesn't matter, in water. So that portal.
But we had an understanding that just like we have roads and pathways here on Earth, that's exactly how we have portals which are fixed. It just doesn't open anywhere.
Well, that's one of them.
There, yeah.
They're there, but when they open, they can open anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, wherever they are, they're there.
They can open anytime. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they don't really,
Plus,
the
we
point
don't
I'm trying to make is
where they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the portal could be in a mountain, right?
Yeah.
When a portal opens in a mountain, the mountain's not stopping it. The mountain actually is opening it.
Yeah.
So if the portal is a portal between us, it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
No matter what we put there, that portal is going to open that piece of matter.
Yeah.
Right. So the iron wall might not be the best solution to close a portal. That's what my case is.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that yes, since he knows what the portal is, he is going to do something else. And that's why he said, I don't want your money. Let me just build up something which is going to go through the gap and it's going to fill it up.
And he said, I'm going to build a radma.
Yeah. He said, not what you're saying. Yeah. Not a sadda. I'm going to build a radma. I'm going to, block it. I'm going to build a block. That's the best word for it. I'm going to block this hole here. Now, this hole has to be blocked through.
So what were they asking? If he said that I'm going to block it, what were they asking? That Radha?
They were asking.
Sadda.
Well, what's the difference between these two?
That's what we're explaining, actually.
Well, the setting is that when Zulkarnain comes through those pathways, they are asking for another sort of pathway to block or close them. And Zulkarnain is saying that this is not going to stop them. opening up another door or closing it the way you want it to close, this is not going to stop them, because this portal, when they open it, it opens to anything. Even if it is water or, or a mountain or whatever, or air, they're going to open it up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put a permanent block there. Because, if Zulkarnain was here, we would be like, why don't you build a wall? And he was like, this wall is not enough of a stop for anything that you're actually, for the thing that you're actually telling me to stop. Whatever those problems are. If Yajuj and Majuj here, he's going to be using a totally different technology to stop. And he is. That, in your opinion, whatever you see is what your psychology is. So that's why you're saying that, you see this sort of a doorway, why don't you close it like this? And he said, no, it's not going to work. I'm going to put a permanent block here. And that's the Radma. I'm going to block it. And that's why the commentary is about barrier. That I'm going to make sure that I block it. Let me just use whatever I know, which Allah has given me as knowledge. So bring me iron and copper, I'll show you how it's blocked. This is what he's doing. And now that we know a little bit of science of what happens when you layer ferrous over copper and then ferrous over copper, you actually are creating a magnet. And if you put enough heat energy or whatever energy that was used, because they were blowing fire on it, we can deduce that it was some sort of a magnetic field that he actually created to close the doorway or block it or maybe just hide it. Or could be anything. Otherwise, let's just look at the flip side. Let's just assume all of this is wrong, what we're saying. And it's a classical meaning, two mountains. And he looked at the big gap. Okay, this is the two mountains. Let me just build an iron wall so that they won't be able to cross it. But if there are mountains, that's the first thing they will be able to cross, because a mountain is something that you can climb. Let's just say that was like a steep mountain nobody can climb. Let's just say, even though it doesn't say that. So he builds up a wall which actually around between the two mountains that nobody can climb. So if that kind of setting is on this planet, the kind of number that we have of Yajuj and Majuj, that wall, they don't need to cross. They can just, swarm around from other parts. Not just to kill these people. It's all right. These people might not be killed because the mountains are too far and too wide. It'll be too much of an effort or too small of a gain. But they will be dispersed all over the planet. This is the least of,
because the wall is not built around the whole planet.
Even if it is built the whole planet, half of the planet is still gone.
Should be inaccessible to you and us.
So if we had built a dome, then I can understand that. That there's in some dome somewhere underground. But it doesn't say anything like that here. It just says that there are doorways, and he just blocks those doorways. So let's just keep it as simple as it is, because any human being will be thinking, okay, let's just say he built a wall. Where is the wall? Okay, let's just say, no, the wall was broken down. So what happened to Yajuj Majuj? Because Yajuj Majuj are, through the hadith, told to Isa alayhi salam, after he kills Dajjal, that now we've opened up. Open is the word. Our people that nobody can kill. So take your people to Tur, and hide there. This is the direct hadith about the Yajuj and Majuj, which is Sahih. Which is, there is no doubt about this. And it makes perfect sense. Because the Quran says we're going to be sending Yajuj Majuj from higher places. This is the Quran which is saying. This is the first time, the second time we use in Surah Anbiya. So, higher places would also mean literally those places which the Quran keeps on saying, the Surah Naba, when the doors of the skies are going to open. And doors of the skies would naturally mean higher places. And even if that's not the doors, these are other doors which Zulkarnain is using. Okay, so when Yajuj and Majuj are going to open portals in the air, they're naturally going to be coming from higher places. Because that's how we look at the whole atmosphere and the sky and the whole heavens. So it's either that or they'll be coming from underneath us, and that's not what the Quran is saying. The portal can be opened from underneath.
Yeah.
But these are the portals from interplanetary, right?
Yeah.
So interplanetary movement, for example, if we look at where the moon is from the Earth, moon is on the right in the same pan as planet Earth. But we look at the moon from like as if it's in a higher place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sun and the Earth are not on top of each other.
Yeah.
But it seems to us because we're aligned vertically on the planet.
Yeah.
Since we're aligned vertically, we see everything up there. And that's Hadibayan Saloon, which means higher places.
Yeah.
And that makes a perfect sense in this whole context as to how are they going to be coming in. But when are they coming in? They're coming in at the time of Isa alayhi salam. If they're coming in the time of Isa alayhi salam, then where are they right now? They better be on this planet because they'll be breeding till Isa alayhi salam comes in. And if we cannot see them right now, that will only mean that we have not discovered this planet.
Yeah.
So much so that we have not discovered most of this planet because these people are 999 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, by at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these people either have come in, and a lot of scholars say that they came in way before you can talk about. Then okay, but why are we talking about Isa alayhi salam and Yajuj Majuj?
Yeah.
Why is Isa alayhi salam going to kill them? And why Allah is saying that we've opened up Yajuj and Majuj?
Yeah.
So that cannot be the Chinese or the Caucasians.
Yeah.
They cannot be because Allah is going to tell them that now we've opened up. It's a far-fetched idea that at that time America or Europe is going to fight against Isa alayhi salam, and Allah is going to say, now I've opened up NATO.
Yeah.
So go to Koitur. How come NATO forces won't be able to go up to Koitur?
Yeah.
This is another. We're just putting our own selves in a lot of knots here, but just not simplifying things through the course of events, which this surah is clearly saying. So this makes a lot more sense in this context, and that's why I'm trying to go in so much detail. So the next word is Sadafain. Sadafain is
in ayah number 96.
We're back in this. Hatta idha sawa bayna Sadafain, which means shell. And Sadaf means shell, the two shells. That also makes sense because when we look at that shell, that Sadaf means it's a spiral with two openings. Which that's exactly what's going on. Yeah. So if he had a door-like structure with a spiral movement, it would look like Sadafain, and that's okay. And that's what we're actually talking about. But if we don't treat it like a wormhole or a portal or whatever, then why is this a new word coming in this ayah?
Yeah.
Why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not talking about Jabal?
Yeah.
Or or anything of that like
or Saddain.
Or Saddain, Saddain. So all of a sudden this becomes that part of the passage that actually is swirling around and is opening up into this place where they're standing.
Yeah.
So he creates a certain charge or a certain
you have to actually explain more about Sadaf and Sadafain here.
We'll just try and put a picture of that shell in this video on the screen so that you can actually see that this is what the seashell, not the seashell, but there's a certain word for it in English. It's on the tip of my tongue right now.
Snail?
No. Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Well, snail also has that sort of a shell. Yeah. Ironically, the same Sadaf exists inside the human ear.
Yeah.
The very shape and the very form of that Sadaf is in one ear. So two would mean Sadafain.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at that structure, you'll find out that Ashab Kahf are actually, using that same
Darabna adanihim.
Darabna ala adanihim means that certain sort of sounds were struck on their ear.
Yeah.
So if we use that I'm not trying to connect Surah Kahf here. What I'm saying is, if you look at it, you'll be amazed that it's a little too much of a thing. It's too overwhelming. This coincidence is too overwhelming. I'm not going to call it coincidence. So when you look at that sort of a shell, then you'll find out that this is two tapering ends, which are openings, with a big swirl in the middle, which looks like that shell that that the Indians use for the horn. Yeah, exactly, like a horn-shaped thing. So
that's generally the shape of a portal or a wormhole.
Yeah, that's exactly how physics actually defines a wormhole or a portal. Because if you look at even though they're the same size of the doorways, but since they're farther from it's called the linear parallax. If you look at if you stand on the train track, you're going to think that the edges of the train track are wider here, and they start shrinking together the farther you see. Just like that, if you see a portal in the sky, you'll see that the bigger door is swirling into a smaller door.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it look like a horn.
Yeah.
And this is what Sadaf actually looks like.
Yeah.
When you look at those Indian civilization, they still use it.
Yeah.
And they pick up a horn, even though it's not a horn, it's a shell.
Yeah.
Which actually makes that sound of announcement and everything. And that's also in the same perfect spiral of the Fibonacci series, which is which is called the signature of God.
Yeah.
That this is how everything is in a perfect proportion. And also now we found out that the Earth and all the planets are swirling around the sun in the Fibonacci motion, and they're actually traveling. It's not a linear a motion of the planets in the x-axis. They're actually moving up or wherever they're headed, and that's the exact spiral that everything is making. So the whole solar system looks like a big portal when you look at it from that angle. However, the word Sadaf actually holds this big of a meaning. So Baina Sadafain would also mean, and I was reading this, there's two Arabian students who made this documentary on how a portal would actually mean. They used the word Sadaf as well. And they said the Sadaf would convert into Sadafain because the two edges would actually mean the Sadafain. A single edge would mean a single door was Sadaf. Which, of course, actually I think they're Armenian they were speaking Arabic. So what I'm saying is, it could be a singular path opening at the Zulkarnain end and the other path opening at Yajuj Majuj end.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would mean Sadafain.
Yeah.
And he would
between them, he meets these people.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Or beyond it, and and he comes from one end, goes to the ends of Yajuj Majuj, blocks it there, and then comes in here and then blocks it here as well.
Yeah.
That could easily be done, and that explains how he's using copper over iron or iron over copper over iron. Again, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to use it as two different ends of a tunnel. I'm going to think that he actually blocked that portion which was opening in the part of the planet where these people are, even though that is connected to the trajectory of Zulkarnain coming to going there. Obviously, if Zulkarnain blocks the pathway of every portal, then Zulkarnain is not going to come back. You have to understand that. So he's in the middle of these two pathways. One is from wherever he's coming in, and one is where the Zulkarnain comes in from. Yajuj Majuj, and he blocks that entry, and he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a simpler way of looking at it, and so that you can understand how this whole ayah comes to life, brings to life such a big perspective and picture of what was going on there. So again, Radma is the block. Sadda is what they actually were used to. Saddain is something which is the two paths opening in. And should I just draw that here? Zulkarnain comes into this planet from this gap. That's one. And he looks at that planet, people, and then there's another path from their planet going somewhere else. And they said that, Ya'juj Ma'juj come in, and he says, okay, let me just block this one.
Yeah.
Let me just block this one, because now there's a Satan here.
Yeah.
But not gonna use, this door. I'm gonna use something else. Just give me molten iron, and then he melts it out, puts a copper on it, does whatever he can, and then he uses his own pathway to come back.
Exit.
Yeah. So that's the actual simple way of using the word Sadafain. And then we go to the next. Is there something I'm missing out here?
No.
Okay.
No, we covered it. Alhamdulillah. In ayah number 97, it says, and so the enemies could neither scale nor tunnel through it.
Here you go. So scale or tunnel means going up or under it.
Yeah.
So scale means over. And tunnel through. So that means it's not just a wall. It is a kind of block that, because if it's not in space, they can't tunnel under it. Why can't they tunnel under it?
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the ayah it says, because if there's a gap in the mountain, why can't they tunnel under it?
Yeah.
Because he just filled up the gap in the mountain according to the classic translation.
Yeah.
So if it is a hanging up portal and you just block it, no, you cannot, because, it's a tunnel. Every portal is a tunnel.
Yeah.
You can't dig under it, because if you go under it, you're in your own dimension.
Yeah.
The only way to come into my dimension is through that opening.
Yeah.
So this is why they can't just dig over or under it.
Yeah.
Because that's a sealed tunnel.
Yeah.
It's not in our hands, because the way a black hole or a wormhole or whatever, because black hole could be a portal for all we know. We can't just go over the edges of the kind of path that we've actually created or was created or is already there, because that path exists in a totally different dimension.
Yeah.
The opening is the only entry into the next dimension where your prey is, if you want to eat something.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go through that very layer of the door, you're still going to be in your own dimension. So that's why they can't.
We have to keep in mind, if it was a wall, that too on this earth, we know that Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they are civilized enough. They have like weapons and everything, which they're going to be using when they come on Earth.
Yeah, they'll be shooting arrows in the air.
Yeah. So if they have this much technology, so they can easily dig under the wall or climb over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The ayah number 98, Dhul-Qarnayn said, "This is a mercy from my Lord, but when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground, and my Lord's promise is ever true."
Before we go there, the last ayah, the word was, I'm sorry, I missed out, yazharu.
Yeah, neither can they pierce it.
Yeah, well,
Yadharuhu.
This also means to look at. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, this is a.
لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ.
Yeah. Well, that's also.
Zahir. Zahir. Right?
Yeah, zahir. This word could actually clearly also mean that they can't even see this wall. And nor can they hit it. Naqba also means you strike it. Okay, they can't even see it, nor they can strike it. But again, since I'm not going to try and stretch my kind of meaning, because I'm
Dr. Ghali says able to surmount it, because when we say yadharu ala dini kulli, means it's gonna dominate, come over.
Yeah. I understand. I'm just saying this root word has a very clear meaning that they can't see it, nor are they be able to
pass over it, cross over it, or even bore it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, the same word, Qala hadha rahmatu min Rabbi.
Yeah.
Same word as Sulaiman is used, as Khizr is used.
Yeah. And Dhul-Qarnayn also uses the same word.
Yeah.
Ayah number 99, on that day we shall let them surge against each other like waves, and then the trumpet will be blown and we shall gather them all together. Yeah,
before we go there, but you're 98, right?
Yeah, 99.
Okay, before, there's this teacher of mine who used to say that this is the kalama to open up, different doorways. Because every time a doorway is open, this is the same ayah. So if you recite this ayah at the time of Dajjal, you'll be opening up the doorways.
Wow, which one?
Hadha rahmatu min Rabbi. Yeah, hadha rahmatu min Rabbi. This ayah is placed so well in those very, very occasions when this sort of supernatural event is happening, especially teleportation and in teleporting and opening the portals. So yeah, and we will leave them that day surging over each other. You're at 99, right?
Yeah.
What your translation says?
It's Dr. Mustafa Khattab says, on that day we will let them surge like waves over one another. Later the trumpet will be blown and we will gather all people together.
Yeah, well, that's the day of judgment. However, the first part is about Yajuj and Majuj.
Yeah.
And they will be swarming over each other. That would mean that they're in millions.
Yeah.
And they will be swarming over each other and surging over each other.
Yeah.
What else can we possibly say about this except the fact that the way this is described is the way we should imagine them and see them.
Yeah.
That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left them for the kill, and this is also a very clear way of us knowing that this is not an event from this planet, because look at the choice of words, and if we look at a portal opening on this planet and a whole creature being coming in with the whole army which has been breeding for thousands and thousands of years, then yes, that is the kind of ayah that actually fits the meaning of that.
There's a hadith also like
wasps. Yeah, this talks about they're swarming like wasps are swarming.
Wow.
It's I don't know why we can't just use it as regularly as possible as to how the wasp. I mean, they're not ants.
Yeah.
They're not termites.
Yeah.
Wasps. I mean, they'll be coming from the air.
Yeah.
This is actually giving us that
wasps
sort of
fly. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, wasps attack you from the air. A stampede is a regular thing. With animals running anything.
Ground, yeah.
But the hadith says they'll be swarming like wasps.
Yeah.
So they're with the kind of ears that they will be looking like wasps, and people will be thinking they're flying because of the kind of ears that they have, and they're just coming in from the air. But it to my mind it's such a perfect picture of this, how the Quran is actually using Zulkarnain to describe all of this.